Hey everyone! You will never believe who I managed to bring back into the studio. It's Monica!
Hi!
If you guys don't know who Monica is, last year I did 2 videos featuring Monica. We did a haircut tutorial, we did a makeup tutorial, and I was completely overwhelmed by the amount of love that you guys had for her look, for her hair. So I messaged her, asked her to come back in so that we could walk you through a step-by-step smoky eye tutorial on this beautiful face.
Hey,
are you excited?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I learned so much about makeup when I was here last time. And so this is the next level, I think.
100%. The last tutorials that I've been doing, the tutorials that I've been doing on YouTube for the last several years has been in and out of voiceovers. And I feel like sometimes those are really fast paced and they're hard to follow. So for this tutorial, you guys are gonna be sitting in on a full appointment. You're gonna be learning how to take a smoky eye from beginning to end, how to do a full complexion, how to finish off the entire look, and hopefully it will give you guys a lot of really great tips that you can use for the holiday season or even just moving into the new year. So without further ado,
all right.
Do you know what I do? I always say, let's go.
All right.
Okay, so you got to put your little finger up. Ready?
Okay.
Let's go. Okay, so we're gonna start by cleansing the skin. I'm using this MilkTouch soothing pad. This is something that I just learned about. I find it really interesting. It comes from a Korean beauty brand called MilkTouch. You can actually get it on Amazon. And look at how cool this is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you get your little
Tongs.
You get your little tongs, you put them out, and it's really refreshing and cleansing. I use this a lot before bed, trying to get rid of that first layer of makeup before cleansing, but I also find it really good as a prep step for makeup. So when I'm doing any type of smoky eye or makeup look, I like to do 2 things to prep the face. I like using a treatment balm for the lips. This one is just by Lottie London, super inexpensive. You can get it at Walmart, it's great. And I like to put a nice layer on the lips, especially during the winter time when we are so dry and dehydrated. Another thing that I really like to do for prep is use firming eye gels. This one is by Iceland, and I like it mainly because it doesn't slide around the face. A lot of eye treatment gel pads, they slide a lot and you have to be in a laying position to wear them.
Yeah.
These ones don't. They work great. They're a bit pricey. They're from Sephora, but they work really well and they don't slide. When you're doing a smoky eye, in my opinion, it's always best to do it before doing any complexion products because inevitably some of that smokiness, some of that shadow is going to fall and stain under here. So if you do all of this complexion work and then you end up with all of this fallout under the eyes, you have to like reverse engineer it. So it becomes a lot of work to remove and reapply. It's wasteful for products.
So just do this first.
Yeah, so you just do this first, clean up fallout, and you're good to go. Okay, ready for this?
Oh, yes.
This is, have you heard of this?
I've heard of this, yes.
This is so cool.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so this is the Peter Thomas Roth. It's the Instant Firm X. It's a no filter firming primer. So this is actually a primer base and it tightens and firms and it blurs the appearance of fine lines, pores, and imperfections, and it actually really does work quite well. I'm gonna put it on your entire face while I do your eyes. And then we can put a little bit on the under eyes afterwards before we do the concealer. It's nice to use a primer like this in areas where you have a few little fine lines or around the mouth. Around the mouth is kind of a trigger spot for a lot of women, nasolabial folds, even the nose, because it really minimizes the appearance of pores. Most of the time, I think primer is it's a way of marketing skincare. And if you have great skincare, then you don't really need a primer. But this is different. This isn't like that type of product. It's not like a hydrating primer. It really is like it really tightens the skin and erases the pores, unlike any other primer that I've ever seen before.
I'm excited.
It's really cool. You've never tried it?
No.
Oh, Monica, it's really, really interesting. One thing about this that you do have to keep in mind though, is that you have to use it on completely clean, dry skin. You don't want to use a moisturizer under it and then put it on top. They really do recommend using this on completely clean skin. So if you have extremely dry skin, that could be problematic. You can use your serum or your moisturizer, but then wait a long time for it to completely absorb before using this. But they do mention on the instructions to use it on clean skin. So keep that in mind. It might deter you from using it if you have extremely dry or flaky skin.
I feel tight.
Do you feel it tightening?
I do.
Isn't it crazy? And you can see like your pores like pretty much melting away, like right before your eyes. I'll show you. Do you see?
Oh, wow.
Isn't it crazy?
Okay, I'm getting some.
I know, it's really
It's
crazy.
really good.
So we're gonna start with our eyes. So we're gonna do a layer of eye primer first. This is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. Do you know why you use eye primer?
So that my eyeshadow sticks.
Yeah, exactly. So it's so that it sticks and so that it stays. Our eyes have natural oil to them. And so I'm actually doing your whole look using mainly cream shadows. And cream shadows are criticized a lot for creasing. And the reason that they crease is because you have natural oils on your lids and they're going to come through and it's going to crease the shadow. So if you use a layer of eyelid primer, you're creating a layer in between your skin and the actual product. So then the actual eyeshadow. So you have a layer there that's kind of preventing the oil from breaking down the product. So the first step in starting out our smoky eye is to start with a transition shade because we need things to layer on top of the base or the transition shade. So I am actually using the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes, the neutral palette. I use this every day. This is probably my most used palette I've ever had in my kit. I have the warm and the cool toned palettes. Now, because she's very cool, right? She's got very cool hair, icy blue eyes. I went and I grabbed the cool tone palette because I find when you're working with undertones, you want to match your makeup to your undertones. So a cool toned person, you want to grab cool toned colors. That's not always the case. I could definitely do a bronzy eye on her and it would look great, but we would require more balancing in the lips, more balancing with the blush. You have to step back and balance more. Whereas if you stay in the same undertone family, it's a lot easier for everything to look cohesive without having to play up other things. So for this look, I'm actually going to use this color right here as our transition color. It's a mid-tone brown that pulls a little cool. So with my fluffy crease brush, all I do is I apply that into the crease and then I sweep it on the lid. So we're kind of warming up this whole area with this brown. One little trick is if you want a really diffused look, when you are doing this type of motion, you can actually move your hand to the end of the brush and then you get less pressure or less precision and you end up with more diffusion. So if you want to detail something, go right up to the end like this. If you want to wash a color, move your hand to the end of the brush and you'll get a little bit more of a wash of color. So I'm just sweeping into the lash line, just building that up in a subtle, soft way. And again, we're dipping again and turn a little towards me. I'm going right into that crease and I am sweeping and diffusing that color. Oftentimes when I use a transition shade, I keep it only on the crease and I pop light in the lid. But since we're going smoky, I'm actually adding that transition shade to the lid a little bit to build up the pigment. Now, whenever you're building up your transition shade, you want to do it with your eyes down, but then you want to look straight in the mirror and see where the crease is. And if you can see it when your eyes are open, depending on how hooded this part of your eye is, it's going to actually disappear. It's going to make the crease disappear. So once you've initially placed your shadow, you're going to want to look straight, grab your crease brush, apply it to that crease with the eyes open and do those windshield wiper motions so that you lift it a little bit above the crease so that you don't have this like strong start stop. Do you see that? How when I did it just with this eye, you can even see just from doing that really quickly, how this eye suddenly looks like bigger and more open than this eye does. Do you see that? So just look straight for me. Perfect. We're going to put it right here. See where the eye is creasing and we're going to go in our windshield wiper motions to bring that crease color just a little bit higher than where it was initially placed with the eyes closed. Okay, so now our next step is to go in with our cream shadows. Now I'm choosing a cream shadow for her because it's a very easy way to get a 5-second smoky eye. You don't have to build it up in the same way that you have to build up your powder shadows. So this one is by the brand Billion Dollar Beauty. They just sent me some PR. I just opened it yesterday and I was actually really impressed with the texture of it. So I'm going to show you how we're going to work with 2 cream shadows. Now there's the lavender one that's a lighter purple, and there is this one which is called Plum, which is a nice dark purple. So the first thing I'll do is start with my light color, and I'm going to just sweep it across the eyelid on the inner parts. And I'm stopping right here midway through. Then I'm grabbing my brush and I'm patting to blend. And then I'm going to take my Plum, so my deeper purple, and I'm going to go on the outside of the eye, and I'm just drawing on. This is why cream shadows are the best. You can literally just draw it where you want it, and then take a second, even your finger if you want. If you're lazy or you don't have a lot of stuff, you can pat it to blend, or you can grab a little brush and just blend it out, and you can build it up really quickly and easily that way. Do you want to know why I picked purple for you?
Because it's my favorite color.
Do you know why it's your favorite color? I can pretty much guarantee that purple is your favorite color because you are so cool toned, and purple is so cool toned that it's flattering on you.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you wear it a lot in your clothes?
I try to.
Yes. And so you're attracted to it because it's so complementary to your undertones that it's easy for you to wear. Does that make sense?
It sure does.
Yeah, I think as women, we don't give ourselves enough credit. I have a lot of requests for videos that are like, what color family should I use? And I don't know what to choose for shadow colors, what suits me. But oftentimes you'll know instinctively, and you won't know why you know, but you'll know. Like you'll put something on and think, wow, that looks really good on me. You know, and there's always a reason why. It could be because of the undertones are the same, or the saturation of color suits the saturation in your skin. But we don't have to overcomplicate it so much. I think a lot of the times when it comes to YouTube and makeup YouTube especially, we try to overcomplicate it. You know, if you put it on and you like how it looks, then it's flattering. If you put it on and you don't like how it looks, then it's not flattering. So now all you can do is grab a crease brush. See how there's a line here in the cream shadow? You just want to take your crease brush and you got to diffuse that line into the transition shade that we just used. All right, so we'll do the other eye. So again, we're going to start with our light color. We're going to go from the inner part halfway, and we're going to take our brush and we are going to tap to blend it out. Then we take our Plum, which is our deeper color. We center it all on the outer parts of the lid. Then we tap to blend it out. Okay, and then we take our crease brush and we soften out that line. Now this is the point where everyone bails on a smoky eye because it freaks them out. Do you see that? It's dark, it's unbalanced. And that's because of multiple reasons. We don't have anything else going on the face. We haven't balanced the lips. We don't have brows. So everyone freaks out. They think it's too much. They bail and they wash it off, and then they do what they always do. So when you get to this part, don't freak out because we're going to balance it out. Okay. It just takes a little bit of time to balance it out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and define the lash line. Now there's a few different ways you can define the lash line really softly with a shadow or with a liner. I like starting with a shadow and then going in with a liner for extra definition right after. It creates a more diffuse, soft effect. Now for this, I'm going to do a dark brown, but again, a little bit of a cooler based brown. So something like this, okay? You would think that you'd go in with a black if you're doing a smoky eye, but smoky just shows that the lid has pigment that's like mid-tone or deeper, right? So you don't have to only use black. Black would be very harsh and aggressive. Brown will still give definition, but it's going to be softer. So what I'm going to do is just use an angled brush, dip into this first, and I'm going to build up the lash line. Now we can remove this. Okay, now that we've cleaned that up, we can go back to our under eye primer or to our face primer, and we can put a little bit of this under the eyes. Stay with me, guys. I know it doesn't look great until it looks great. Smoky eyes is a process. Now for her foundation, there were so many different things that I could do. I had like limitless options, but I decided to go with Tier Silver Cushion, and that's because There are 3 types of cushion foundations from Tier, Korean brand. This is not sponsored, okay? I really love the Tier foundations because I find they give amazing coverage, but they look exactly like skin. So they make you look luminous and healthy and radiant, but it doesn't look like you're made up. There's 3 formulas. We have the red cushion, pink cushion, and silver cushion. Silver cushion is definitely the lightest and the most radiant and the glowiest of all the cushion foundations. Now, I know that you have dry skin because you told me in our last video. So this is really nice for dry skin. It will even things out, but be glowy and won't be like caked on. You know, it's a very nice like day-to-day foundation. I especially love it for dry skin or for mature skin. So this is 21C Cool Ivory. I'm just gonna put my finger on the cushion, push the cushion into the applicator that it comes with, even it out here on like a mixing palette, and then we're going to stamp it on the skin. Have you ever seen this?
No.
It's very unique. Korean cushion foundations are very, very cool.
And it's skincare?
No, it's not skincare. It's just a foundation.
Because it feels...
Like skincare?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Moisturizing for sure.
It is definitely very moisturizing. We should look that up. If Tier is skincare, let's get Lori to do it. Lori's the producer. She's over there. Turn a little towards me. Isn't that the most like soothing sound?
So it is actually a moisturizing formula.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
So
Yeah.
it has birch sap to deliver deep moisture.
Birch sap.
Birch sap.
I didn't know you wanted birch sap on your face, but
I didn't
today you do. Okay, so let's work a little under the eyes. So we have a little bit of blue in here, so we need to color correct it. Okay, so the color corrector that I'm going to use today is by Jane Iredale. It's Enlighten 1, and you can see that it has a peachiness to it, and this peachiness is going to cancel out any type of blue undertone, and then we can brighten with concealer. So I'm applying my color corrector only here, because that's the only place that you have blue. So let me just go and stipple. We gotta bronzen you up quite a bit because your complexion is much lighter than here.
Which is me normally because I always wear so much sunscreen and a hat also not on.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good that you do that. We'll balance it out in a second.
I normally look like pale face and dead body.
Do you? Okay, we'll balance it out.
Thank you.
We got this. All right, so before doing our concealer, I'm gonna let the under eye corrector kind of dry down a little bit and set. And so while we let it set, we can do the rest of the face. So let's go in with some bronzer. Now this is the Chanel Cream Bronzer. I really like it because it's really hydrating, so it's great for dry skin since it's a cream. So let's add a little bit of bronziness to your forehead here to try to balance out the body. And then we can add some in here too, into the cheek area, across the bridge of the nose where sun would hit. And then we can go into here, jawline. So for concealer, I'm also using the Jane Iredale concealer. It's the Pure Match Liquid Concealer. And I'm gonna also apply it in here. And that's just going to lift the corner of the eye up. Yeah, that looks really good. We're gonna go into here. So where this divot meets the nose, we want to create a lift there. So we're gonna put our concealer in this little crevice. And make sure to stipple to blend it out. And then I like to lift in here. So I like to put the concealer here by the eye. Now, if you notice, I never go heavy on concealer in here. This area has a lot of movement. And because we have a lot of texture and fine lines in this area, if we pack too much concealer on, it's going to end up looking liney. It will emphasize all the fine lines that you don't need emphasized.
Thank you.
Yeah. I got you. All right, so let's work a little bit under the eyes. So I'm gonna go back in with that cream stick. And we're gonna use a blending brush. Okay, so just look straight up for me. And I'm just gonna go in and apply this here to smoke out underneath. This will balance it out quite a bit. I just apply a little bit and then I go in with a smudge brush.
So a smudge brush is a little more dense than a brush, I guess.
Yeah, it's like dense and wide. Yeah. Sometimes what I'll also do is I'll actually grab it from the pencil like this, and that will give me more control. And then I'll go right in. I don't like going all the way into here. Mm-hmm. I stay like kind of halfway out, you know? Well, not halfway, 2/3 of the way. Yep. This is what really sells a smoky eye under the eyes. I'm going to soften this line up a little bit with my fingers. I feel like this line's a little harsh. This to me still feels a little bit strong. So what I'm going to do is just take a clean brush and I'm going to go back and forth, and that's going to soften out the line significantly. So if you ever do something where you're like, wow, that feels strong, just take a clean brush and you can pretty much erase it. For brows, we are going to keep them fairly natural. So I'm just going to start by brushing them. And then I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow powder. Okay. And this is in the color ash brown. What do you normally use when you do your brows?
I started using a brown eyeliner. Mm-hmm. And then I got this brow glue and it's almost like a taupey color.
Yes.
So I draw the brow on with the pencil and then I use the glue to make it
fluffy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a brow glue that I'm going to be using on you too. That's a good strategy. That's a good way to do it. A pencil is a great way to do it. I like using a powder sometimes because I find it's a little bit of a softer shaping when you're filling it in. But a pencil can be soft too, as long as you use a spoolie and you diffuse the pigment.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And we can go over that with a pomade. That makes the hairs look a lot fluffier. So let's do a Lancome primer. So look down for me. So this is just a primer to bulk them up so they look thicker on their own. Did you ever use a mascara primer?
I have in the past.
Yeah, they can be good, huh?
Yeah.
If you want like super volume lashes, they are a good addition. Look down for me. Now, normally I would curl lashes, but your lashes are so curled already. While that's setting, let's do some blush. We're gonna do a cream blush. Because the eyes are so smoky, we can't go too poppy with the blush. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use Pillow Talk by Charlotte Tilbury. This is also a great cream blush, and it's kind of that perfect neutral pink. I still think I'm gonna set your under eyes, but they're not creasing really at all yet. So we're just going to give it a sec so I can take a look where they crease and then I can strategically powder. Yeah, this is a great blush for this. And then we'll do a little bottom lash. Let's do a little lip. So I think for this look, we need to go into like a more nude lip family so that we don't overpower. But with your complexion, this tone for me, it feels like too brown, right? So I'm going to go into a nude lip, but that pulls a little bit of pink. And so the lip that I'm using is Whirl by MAC. It is a classic. Look straight just to make sure we have the balance. Now that looks pretty harsh because we need to brighten it up now with like a softer lipstick. And we'll see if we still feel like it's a little dark afterwards. I'm not 100 on the lips. Let's see what will happen if we add a little bit of lash. So close for me for 1 sec and open. I actually really like that. Do you like that? Adding a little more drama to the... Yeah. Should I even ask? It's like I don't even know you.
Of course I want the drama.
Let's add a little bit of drama to the lash line.
I can't wait to see the hair.
I know, it's very glam. This is like really outside of my audience comfort zone. My audience is very natural.
But it's New Year's. Party time.
Thank you.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
Like, do we
You're going
always
to do
have-
this before New Year's so that everybody can do this for New Year's?
Yeah, this is launching before New Year's.
So then there you go.
I know, we have to have fun. It's okay to be more than just simple.
I would rather be, I'm going to say overdressed than underdressed.
Same, always.
So like, it's not that I'm going to be so much extra or something, but I'm going to feel better.
Yes.
And I don't know. That's just me, maybe. I don't know.
I'm the exact same, like clothes for me. I'm not afraid of being the most dressed up person in the room.
Absolutely
I'm much more
not.
afraid to be the less
The
dressed.
sloppiest.
Yeah.
Well, I hope someday to get married and you'll do my makeup.
Oh, I'm there. You know I'll be there. If you were planning your wedding tomorrow, what would your look be?
I don't know. Because normally I'm a very, like everybody else, very light makeup, but this is looking pretty darn awesome. And like you said, more is more. So if you're going to get married, you might as well just do it all.
Just go all the way.
I don't know. I don't know.
You could use light colors, but full glam. So here's something that I could tell you guys too. You can use, sometimes I get pictures of like Kim Kardashian. They'll be like, I want something natural like this. There's like nothing natural about that. You know, just because neutral isn't natural.
Right.
So you could still use neutral tones, but have it not be like natural. Natural is light-handed. Mm-hmm. Full glam is like contour and bronzer and sculpting and overlining the lips and that, you know.
And lashes.
And lashes. And natural and neutral are different.
Yeah.
Oh, you look so pretty. Now, the only thing is I'm not liking the lip. I feel like the lip is too brown. Like it's too brown for you. Do you feel that way?
It almost needs like a little bit of like frosting.
Like it needs
not
like
frost, but,
pinkiness.
like, yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to remove. I talked a big game about the lip. I was like, blah, 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 undertones, blah, 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 neutral. And then it's like, this isn't working at all. That's why you need to not be so scared of makeup. Because I've been doing this for a long time and I still make mistakes sometimes. We're moving into Dervish from Mac. I changed my mind. I didn't even ask you. I was like, it's not, this isn't it.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it either?
You know what? I kept on looking at it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait until she's done. Something's going to be magic and I'm just going to wait.
Yeah, see? It was like, it was off balance a lot. It wasn't working. If you've ever gone to a makeup artist that talks away your, like when you don't like something, if they explain it away, like they're dismissive, it's a bad sign.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes that dismissiveness comes from a place of being insecure and needing to like validate your choice. But there is also just times when you put something on and you're like, this is so wrong. Like it's not working.
Not me.
So we went in with Dervish from MAC, and then we're going to go in with this new Jane Iredale glosses. These are beautiful. And this color is Au Naturel. That looks way better, doesn't it? Do you feel better?
I do.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so see,
Softer.
much better. Yeah. And then we'll give you a little finishing spray. This is the Tear spray. So this goes with the Mask Fit foundations. It's got a nice luminous finish. It's really pretty. And then as our final step, we can go in with Living Luminizer by RMS Beauty. This is the most beautiful highlighting cream. So when you turn to the side, I'm just going to apply it a little bit here. It's going to make your cheekbones pop. This is beautiful for holiday parties. And turn this way. We can put them here since you have such a beautiful collarbone. You can put it here to really illuminate that. Let me just check one thing with the under eye. So chin down and look up. Okay, I can see a few little creases here. We're going to add a little bit of setting powder to that area. So I'm going to go in with the Chanel setting powder. It's really nice because it's very finely milled, and we can just press a little bit on. That's going to stop that from happening throughout the day. And then you can also get rid of shine in the areas that you don't really want it, which tends to be in here, in here, and here. All right, let's take the hair down. What I'm going to get you to do is actually tilt your head all back. Perfect. Now we're going to just brush this out. How do you feel?
Oh my God, I feel gorgeous.
You are gorgeous. Okay, when I'm looking at it, I'm so shiny and disheveled compared to you. This is what happens when you work. I'm gonna add a little bit of a very nice soft matte highlighter here. This is gonna lift this up a little bit. It will be good for balancing out the smokiness too. And then we'll add a little bit over here. And I also want to add a little bit of lightness to the inner part of the eye. So look up for me. So what do you think? Would you wear your makeup like this?
Oh, definitely.
Isn't it wild how a smoky eye starts so harsh and then
ended up being just pretty.
It ended up being just pretty. Yeah.
Just pretty, yeah.
And that's why I tell you guys, don't be afraid of makeup. Don't be afraid of walking through the steps. You guys saw I made a mistake with the lip. We had to go back. The foundation was a bit light. We had to add some warmth back into the skin. It's okay to build things. And even professional makeup artists have been doing it for a long time. This is how we work. You know, we add things, we remove things, we change the tone of things. We realize something didn't work the way we thought it did. So go with your instinct, go with your gut. And then you can end up with something like this as long as you don't abandon ship along the way. So if you learn anything today, it's to not abandon ship along the way.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming in,
you.
Monica.
Oh, goodness, thank you.
Oh my gosh, I love having you in the studio.
Thank you so much. This has been a wonderful experience again.
I'm so glad. This video's over.